National news.
Catch live music every Friday and Saturday night at Jack Ryan's in Sale.
Part of the Ace Radio Network, 99.5 and 99.9 TRFM.
10 degrees in Melbourne, windy with rain developing. A top today 12. It's 9 o'clock. Good morning. I'm David Armstrong. Police are hunting a gang of offenders after an armed robbery in Kew this morning. The group, one armed with a machete, jumped the counter of a service station on Cotham Road stealing cigarettes. It's believed they fled in a black Nissan SUV. A staff member took shelter at the back of the store as the robbery unfolded and was not harmed. It comes amid calls for the state government to urgently address the increase in violent retail crime here. New data reveals Victoria has the highest number of retail crime events in the nation, many of them by repeat offenders. Paul Zara from the Retailers Association says it started during the COVID lockdown, and while other states have returned to normal, Victoria has not.
So we saw an escalation of customer aggression through COVID, and whilst it's unacceptable, it was sort of understandable because of what everyone was going through. But what has translated is we've come out of COVID, and it's actually gotten worse, not better.
A truck carrying a shipping container has crashed into a building at a busy intersection in Wheelers Hill. Several lanes are blocked through the intersection of Gels and Ferntree Gully roads, and emergency services are at the scene. It's believed a truck and a car collided just before 8:30, causing the truck to crash through a fence and into an abandoned building. Donald Trump is preparing to take the spotlight as US President Joe Biden isolates with COVID. He's preparing to make his first public address after being shot at during a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Congressman Byron Donald says the presidential candidate will be focused on the road ahead when he takes to the stage at the Republican National Convention.
Every rally, every speech has been about the forgotten men and women of this country. And I think obviously after, the attempt on his life, I think that it's more than just a presidential campaign. It's more than a convention. It is about the very future of our country.
And it comes as former President Barack Obama urges Joe Biden to pull out of the race. Well, the family of a cameraman who died when a former military jet crashed into Port Phillip Bay while filming a documentary say they still need answers after the release of the official report into the crash. Here's Gail Watson.
Pilot Stephen Gale and camera operator James Rose died in November last year when their Viper aircraft was involved in a mid-air collision with another jet while filming over Port Phillip Bay. In its final report, the Australian Transport Safety Bureau found actions leading up to the collision had not been specifically discussed before the flight and were conducted without the prior knowledge of the crew in the second aircraft. Mr Rose's father, David Rose, has told the Herald Sun his family has been left with unanswered questions. He's urged the coroner and Civil Aviation Safety Authority to ask more questions. He says James was just a passenger doing a paid job that he'd been assigned to at the last minute. He told the paper any trust was broken by poor decisions from those who should have known better. In Melbourne, Gail Watson, 9 News.
120 firefighters from Australia and New Zealand are being sent to Canada as it battles severe summer bushfires. 650 wildfires have burned through 1.5 million hectares in the country.
Sport for Cimic's Better Home Living. Get a better deal on TVs and home audio.
The controversial 3-game ban handed to GWS star Toby Bedford has been thrown out by the AFL's appeals board. It found an error of law in the suspensions given to Bedford and Brisbane Lion Charlie Cameron. AFL legend Mick Malthouse has told Today the players and coaches are all confused about what is legal.
Concussions are a consequence to a tackle, but they're perfect tackles. I think the lunatics are running the asylum at the AFL at the moment. We had to have a sheriff come in last night and straighten it out.
A strong performance from two Australians in stage 18 of the Tour de France. Jai Hindley was the 8th over the line, just 22 seconds behind the leader. Michael Matthews, 10th.
Everyone's on their hands and knees. It's been a really hard Tour de France this year, so let's see. I think everyone's going to be fairly tired, but that's what we think every morning. And then we're all able to do it all over again the next day.
9:05. That's the latest news and sport.
The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. An epic stack of beef, cheese, lettuce, golden crispy onions and creamy peppercorn mayo. It's a pretty big deal. Try it today.
Give your business the online presence it deserves with a website from Ace Digital, designed to reach your customers wherever they are. Details at ace.digital.
Welcome to your life. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Connected to Gippsland.
Break the bank members draw. Every Friday night is your chance to win $100 and 5,000 points at the Lakes Bowls Club.
Local news online and on air now.
I'm Daniel Brewer with your local news headlines. It's the final week for the East Gippsland Winter Festival. Festival founder and director Adam Bloom says plans are underway for next year's event.
Yeah, we've actually already started planning next year already. So we've got a debrief booked in and we'll chat about next year, but we've already got our dates locked in and plans are already underway to make it bigger and better again next year.
The dates next year are the 20th of June to the 20th of July. The Slipway Precinct in Lakes Entrance has officially been opened by federal member for Gippsland, Darren Chester. In sport, round 14 of Gippsland League football tomorrow in what will be trying conditions. Sal are at home against Druin. Warrigal play host to top of the table Leongatha. Wonthaggi versus Terralgan. The match of the round is Bairnsdale versus Moe, and Morwell are on their home deck against Maffra. And that's the latest local news headlines.
TRFM, your trusted source of Gippsland news and community events. Leave a news tip or community events at our website, trfm.com.au.
Terralgan Toyota certified pre-owned cars. LMCT 12130.
For Gippsland and the Valley, TRFM weather. Strong wind warnings again today for the East Gippsland and Central Gippsland coast. A warning to sheep grazers. Final flood warnings for the Cairn, Genoa, Bam and Snowy River. And a minor flood warning for Latrobe River. Your 4-day forecast. Cloudy today. Very high chance of rain in the west. Medium chance of rain elsewhere. Damaging winds possible about the ranges. And winds increasing 25 to 40 k's in the late afternoon. Tomorrow, showers at 11. Sunday, shower to 15. And for Monday, shower to 16 degrees. Tops today at 13 in the Valley, Sale, Bairnsdale and Lakes. Orbost heading for 14. Right now, it's 5 degrees.